How should I be creating classes in 2022? In this example, I have a very basic class, and this applies to both classes and custom components. Let's have a look at the different parts here. The first thing that you'll notice is that I have my fields, and yes, the sequencing of these items are important. At the top I have my fields, and the fields have a hash in front of it. That means that this is a private field and can only be accessed by this class. Underneath the fields I have a read-only property. In this case I am sending values back as part of my API that I'm exposing to items outside of the class, and I use the standard properties mechanism to do that. In this case it's a read-only property, but read-write properties are fine. Then in my constructor, I am initializing my private fields with values that I require. Now these fields must be declared regardless of when you are populating values in it. It just helps with maintainability of the class to understand what are the fields that are available in this class, regardless of when it gets initialized. And then I have my dispose, which I use to free up any memory that I have. Here I have an example of a read-only method, and this is quite important. All of the methods that you write should by default be private. So put a hash in front of it. But there are situations where you want to be able to, as part of your API, expose certain actions of your class to the outside, and by that you can make a public method. I recommend making all of your methods private by default until you actually have a need to call that public action, or if you've done a proper design and you know that that public action is required, then you can make it public. So first we have our fields that we declare. Then we have our properties, then we have lifecycle methods, then we have our private methods, and then we have our public methods. Don't mix it up, it just makes maintainability a whole lot easier. And from this day forth, this is how your classes should look.